Get in, nerds. We are playing Burden of Command. We are doing pretty well here. We got some enemy units to handle over here. So let's go ahead and handle them. I think first we're going to activate Thompson because we're going to try to take out these enemy units. And to do that, the first thing we need to do is find this 88 and take it out. Alright, it's there. There's an enemy squad here, but they're very fully suppressed. Get him!
They can't hold us back.
Beautiful. But, okay. Alright, and that's the only thing over there. So, now we are fully in position to attack these squads here. So we'll start by moving here and bolstering this squad.
Keep going, Koenig.
I should do the assault with, but I also want to be able to activate this squad. Nah, it'll be fine. Get him!
Keller, take the lead.
Nice! Beautiful. And that'll get Thompson a physical of trust, which will be nice. War booty. First platoon continues to press into the town. They're making an earnest effort under Thompson's mature leadership. At least some of them. First Sergeant Grant shoves a buck private in front of you. The accosted man's backpack clinks as he staggers to a halt. When the flap opens, a cluster of tarnished silverware lies bound up in a blue silk dress. War loot. First Sergeant, what's the penalty for looting? Private, are you a replacement? Private, where were you headed? Private, where did you find all this? Decide what to do with him and others who loot. First Sergeant, what's the penalty for looting? My boot up his ass, First Sergeant Grant says, but for desertion it's the firing squad. It wasn't deserting, the buck private pleads as he squirms, trying not to look at anyone's boots. I was just, but he can't complete the sentence. Private, are you a replacement? Yes, Captain, the buck private says, from Naples just a couple of weeks ago. Probably replaced someone who came down with the clap, First Sergeant says, not an improvement. Private, where were you headed? I was going to give this to a friend to look after, the buck private says. Well, we're not going to charge your friend, First Sergeant Grant says. You're the only proven idiot here. So this is interesting. I've never heard the term buck private before, so I don't know what it means. I am going to... I'm not going to ask this, because this makes me look like I'm going to do a little looting myself. I'm going to decide what to do with him. Until now, the light-fingered nature of certain men has been focused largely on plucking ripe melons, taking the invariable Luger pistols, and other things that come largely under the heading of military necessity, but looting silverware is something else entirely. Forbid looting, we're here to fight the good fight. Trust -10, advance idealism, combat fatigue +2, and realism +2. Officers will attempt to conform to no looting orders. Forbid looting, we've got to fight the Krauts first. Trust -10 acquires zeal, less combat fatigue but less realism. Officers will attempt to conform to no looting orders. Restrict looting, we have priorities. Combat fatigue -10, trust -5. Officers will limit looting. Allow looting, soldiers have always looted. Trust +5, advance professionalism. Combat fatigue +10, realism +1. Officers will ignore looting. Or forbid looting, I gave no order even for necessity. Advanced discipline, 20 combat fatigue, 2 realism. Officers will attempt to conform to no looting order. So this is interesting. This is true. Soldiers have always looted. Like, early armies, for a lot of history, mostly paid themselves by, if they, basically, the deal was for much of human history, that if you came to a walled city, if you have an army and you come to a walled city, you say to the walled city, open the gates, or we will take the town. And if they open the gates, then you don't loot them, and if they force you to take the town, then the town gets sacked. And what a sack means is just soldiers just individually steal anything that isn't nailed down, and that's how armies paid themselves for a long time. Now, this is not to say that looting didn't occur after surrenders. It did. It was real bad. But so armies have always kind of stolen whatever was bolted down. With that having whatever wasn't bolted down, and quite a bit of what was. With that having been said, this is a rifle platoon. We are out here trying to get a job done, and that job is to win the battle. Even the ancient Romans understood the importance of like winning the battle first and then worrying about what there is to steal. So to me, I see the only option being to forbid looting. I think that's the only reasonable way to go here. When logistics comes through and goes, okay, we need this many trucks, this many of this many this many bottles of whiskey, or whatever. That's them, but that's them. We're a frontline platoon, and our job is to fight. Let's get us some zeal. Again, I don't want to get combat fatigue in blocks of 20, because that weakens my the effectiveness of my realism. So yeah, I'll get myself a little zeal. There's no time for anything but fighting the Krauts. You give them an inch and they'll take a mile. The men will be upset about this. They'll thank you in the end. Trust -10. That decided, Grant kicks the buck private back towards his unit. Arresting him is useless when the Krauts are still spoiling for a fight. Word comes back from 1st Platoon that Thompson has given his men a brief but stern speech about looting, then put them back in their boots. Too bad no one remembers the specifics. Beautiful. Alright, and then this squad will take out this Panzerschreck. Yeah, you again. Beautiful. Alright, and then finally, we'll get this squad continuing to move forward. I don't want to put anyone... Okay, so there is another unit over here. So there's a chance this Panzerschreck will shoot this squad, but I'm hoping not. If I take command of... I can't take command with the captain. Why not? Captain Murphy has already taken command. That's curious. Because I'm because Thompson's... We'll try it again later. But this area is clear for now, and I'm feeling pretty good about it. Now, one thing I could do is make an immediate assault. Let's take command of this unit and make an immediate assault on this squad, which I am extremely tempted to do. We'll do it with Captain Murphy. And we'll take them right out. And that'll take out this officer.
Follow us!
Beautiful. Ooh. An additional enemy officer. Well, I don't mind if I do.
Come on! Let's go!
Lieutenant Richter. Beautiful. Well, I got back the trust I lost, so that's good. And now we're in very solid cover, which is also good. Alright, that is it for Thompson's go-around. Let's see what the enemy does.
Auf geht's, Frontsoldaten!
Alright, so they're falling back. Not bad. Alright, time to get 3rd Platoon moving forward. Towards this objective. So, I was thinking about moving this squad south, and I still think that's the right call. But I also want to be moving up the center here. So let's start there. I don't want to be too... Uh-oh. I don't want to be too bullish moving forward. Okay, keep hearing stuff going down. See if there's anything. Okay, doesn't look like there's anyone in these houses. Uh-oh, uh-oh, oh. Thought the game was threatening to crash. Continue to head forward here. Okay, feeling overall pretty confident about the southern advance. This is getting a little greedy now. And this is getting really greedy. Okay, enemy squad over there. Alright, so that's not shocking. We'll take them under fire next turn. Don't need to get too I don't need to get too aggressive down here. I've got a lot of turns left, so I'm trying to be conscientious. So that's I should probably rally this squad. Well, he won't be able to because they already moved, but he'll be able to rally himself, and that's worth it. We'll actually leave him with an order, just in case. Just in case there's someone needing activation. Got him! Bazooka to loot truck. Nice. Beautiful. Alright, so next it's going to be Rao. I think he's just going to go ahead and rally the two squads that are with him.
We will finish this!
Rallying is a sensible approach. And long-term rallying is critical.
To the death!
Okay, settle down. Do I take command of this squad? I don't think so. I think I might just rest them. Yeah, we don't need to be conscientious about it. Now this squad I'm going to take command of because I want to put them up into Captain Thompson's hex so that he can rally them next turn. Again, you always want to make sure that you're rallying to keep your units in good morale. And now finally, I think I'm going to bring this Sherman forward to cover... Oh, to be careful about this. I think to here. Because I think a Panzerschreck has a max range of 4. So if I bring this Sherman... Oh, right. I'm still on Rao. Uh-oh. Okay, they bailed out. Alright, it looked like that was a 2-man squad as well. So, that's fine. I didn't have... If they'd gone into either of these houses, we would have blasted away at them with these 2 squads, but we didn't. Alright, so... We'll put this tank... Where did I want to put it? I think I wanted to put it here. Yeah, that's right. So we'll send him this way. And then here. So we're out of range. Oh no, we're in range. Well, they're not going to win the initiative, and they're certainly not going to hit. They did shoot back, but they missed.
Don't let up!
Very good. They're not as daunted as I was hoping. But I don't want to get close. So that Sherman will just have to stay right there. Oh, and that's the other that's the other tank unit. What are the chances they've got an 88 sitting right here? None, because they didn't shoot at me when I walked this tank over like a fool. So let's go ahead and put the leader of our tanks in here. just to take command of this road. And would you look at that? There's a loot truck just waiting here to be shot at. Good chance to hit. More if I bolster. Yeah, let's do it. Nice. Alright, we got one more order. I can actually move this unit out of the situation. Here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna move this tank over here. Because I don't want to put them in a situation where they're gonna get themselves panzer fasted. I recognize they're not really offering all that much coverage here. But again, I think going in with infantry is a little bit more... is a little bit better. I think we'll just turn them to face this way and let that be their turn. So that's them. Now, stern, I want to get up into here just to have a better visual to everything. To the whole situation here. And I think I'm going to use Captain Murphy's remaining orders to get his units up into the action a little bit more. Right. I was going to rally this squad, this machine gun with Captain Murphy. That was what I was going to do. Which means I think I'm only going to use Captain Murphy to move the 60mm mortar. The other one I think has got full coverage of the map. But getting these guys up a little bit closer is going to be useful. And then we'll grab Captain Murphy and we'll just get him underway towards this MG unit. Oh no! Oh, I didn't mean to move the squad. Oh, that sucks. Alright, that's okay. That's okay. These things happen. I got more tanks than I know what to do with. I'm very... because I've had bad moments of tanks just being sniped from way back, I'm very conservative about my use of my armor. Maybe we'll put this tank over here. And we'll get them a little closer, but only a little. Guess I've put them technically in range of this Panzerschreck. Let's move them back just a bit. That was dumb. But these things happen. Let's see. Now for these two, I feel reasonably confident that this area is clear of enemy units. So... let's get this tank into cover. Actually, no, these two can move, right? Yes. I'm gonna get this tank into cover here. And this tank into cover here. I've completely interspersed all my tanks, but that's alright. These things happen. And we'll leave these two covering this area just to make sure we don't get jumped with a grenade or something like that. Alright, that is the end of turn 7. Or very nearly. Yes. Let's hit turn 8. Plenty of time
You heard
left.
the captain. Get it in gear, ladies.
Mop up resistance. Alright. That can do. Just Captain Murphy, please. Let's move through cover. Don't want to get sniper called over here.
I know you can deliver.
Beautiful. Beautiful. Just beautiful. I'm going to creep to take this objective to make sure I don't get op fired. Ho ho! And good thing I did. Enemy squad kicking around over here. No, let's not get creative. Let's not get creative.
What? You mean with this?
I've got other squads. I took the objective. That's the thing I meant to do. This squad is low on orders. Let's actually rally them. And then we'll bring up this squad, which I foolishly moved out of position last turn, to get into the action and get forward to try to go for this central objective. Now this house does have a visual. So what we're going to do is we're going to move here. And next turn, we'll move there and take shots. And that'll be good. And then I think I'll put this lieutenant, this acting lieutenant, into this squad. And that'll be just fine. And then I'll be able to do whatever I wish to do. There's actually a clean visual from this covered area into there, so I could move a tank in to shoot at those enemy units. But we'll see. No reason to get creative over there. Alright, that is 3rd platoon, Dearborn's platoon. Alright, enemy units still kicking around over there. Thompson's next. We are going to have Thompson rally the unit that he's standing in.
We gotta make a stand.
We sure do. So, what direction is this Panzer Schreck pointing? Took it out of action.
Fire.
Okay, well, so much for getting a little bit of free trust, but I'm not sorry I took the enemy squad out of action. Alright, let's get forward here. We'll go for the heavy cover, as always.
Come on.
Now, I'm gonna run forward a little bit. Ooh, enemy squad over here. Paratrooper squad. They're very heavily suppressed. Let's shoot them. They're in the open. Got some casualties there, that's for damn sure. And with this squad, headed. Ooh, look at this. An enemy officer. Hello. Come on, come on. Get him! Hunter Hawk.
We're taking fire.
Okay. New squad over here, badly suppressed. Let's shoot at them. Didn't notice that squad. That's okay. Flanked and surprised, though. That's good. I've left this squad in an exposed position, unfortunately, but these things happen. It's not... It could have been worse. They're in good morale. They can't see an enemy unit that can actually do any damage to them. This unit could come up and try to create a problem, but I'm not thinking they will. That's Thompson. Unit moving over here. Get tanked, idiot. Okay. Round next, we're just going to have a turn of maneuvering. Round squads are here, here, and here. Maybe one of Rouse squads will be able to take this squad under fire. But let's cross the road here and hope that's... I don't think that was an MG.
With
Okay,
me.
they didn't see us. Nice. Alright, enemy squad here. Hello!
Shift fire on your left, on your left.
Might have tried assaulting them, but that would have been extremely risky. Let's bring Lieutenant Rao and his squad forward. Rao sends a message written in his formal script that he has charges to proffer against a particular private, but that can wait for now. Rao advances discipline. Cool. We'll activate Rao's other squad. Let's just get them as far... I've got pretty good command of the outskirts at this point. I'm just going to get them as far forward as I can. City fighting is always a bit of a shit show. They only have one more order.
Hit him hard.
Make sure we're in cover. And then Rao's squad will get forward. The squad can move a little bit more. So we'll move them a little bit more. We'll move them into some cover up here. And that will be what there is for Rao. These enemy squads don't seem like they're very active doing much at all, so I'm feeling reasonably confident in my ability to take the city. Let me see, do I want to, I've still got a little bit of time. I mean, obviously this turn's not over, but I could try taking the city. Nah, I'll leave that for next episode. We'll just finish out turn 8. I feel very confident in my ability to close out the scenario within 2 turns, given where we are with all these enemy squads really badly suppressed and all that jazz. So now the tanks. Let's move this tank into these woods. So that gives us a visual to these units. Now, this Panzerschreck is not suppressed. Let's suppress it.
Take them down.
Very nice. We got our first armored group active right now. Now this Panzerschreck is dealt with, let's get this tank a little bit closer. Just get this tank covering this whole area. Well, actually I'm not covering all that much really. What if I move here? Yeah, that's better. I'm covering the objective. That's what's good. Just turn them that way so they can shoot. This tank is within fire arc of that unit. I'm I don't know that that's not a Panzerschreck, so I'm going to leave it for now. And then this unit... Oh, interesting. This is actually blocking off this road to tank movement. That's alright. We'll get this tank moving through here. And then rotate this way. And that's it for the tanks. And finally, let's get Lieutenant Stern up here, just so that he can continue to direct mortar fire. Actually, he can direct mortar fire on this unit. That is what I want. Because this unit needs to be suppressed. Gosh darn it. I don't know if they're suppressed or not, but they need to be. That's the way of it. Get mortared, idiot. Delicious water. Combat fatigue intensifies. All right, and then we'll just take this MG forward a bit. And we already rallied the other MG, so they'll be ready for action next turn. All right. Are there any? There's no squads like back here that I haven't really activated yet, except for the mortars. And the tanks are chilling. So I think that's actually the end of turn 8. We're making very good progress. We're moving slow and steady, and we're being careful. And that's the way you do it. All right. Slightly closer to half an hour for this episode, but that's all we've got. We've started to force the city center. We've got the southern objective. We've got the eastern objective. We don't have the northern or center objectives yet, but we're very close. And I think within a few turns, we'll be able to really... It seems like these squads are quite under strength, because their max orders are 1. And so I think that's going to make finishing out the scenario very straightforward. Anyway, that's all we've got time for at this point, my nerds. I have had fun. I hope you all have had fun. You all have had fun. Ugh. Man. And I'll see you on the other side.